Welcome back, YouTubers, and once again we are sorry for the delay on this Raw review, but we are here to review Raw. We are the British Fist, as you know. Ka-ching indeed, where the money's at. Mr. Parkin here, this guy sitting next to me, revealing himself in a very flirtatious way. It's none other than NJ.
What's up?
And do I see a little bit of a mustache and a beard coming on there, NJ?
Slowly growing, you can't see it.
This is the first time I've seen you with facial hair. Usually you're too busy shaving it off, whereas I'm too busy trying to grow it. But there we go. This edition of Raw, we got 2 weeks left to go to the Elimination pay-per-view, so we really expected some good build, especially seeing as this is a 3-week pay-per-view and the next week is going to be the go-home show, so we needed some matches going to the go-home show, and technically we got 4 matches announced tonight. We'll talk more about that in the next section. Bruno Sammartino is also in the Hall of Fame as well, which I thought was pretty good. And we've also got this, like, What's Up video compilation thing going right now.
And that's the thing. Even though we've had Raw, we're getting closer and closer and closer to the What's Up time, where we want to have an intro and outro, especially for the YWC or the internet people themselves. So please, 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 send yourselves doing the What's Up!
In your own unique way, of course. Any of the links in the description box below will be there for you guys. Also, special, like I said earlier, Bruno Sammartino is in the Hall of Fame, and I think that deserves a special long clap from us, MJ. Yeah! Yeah! Oh, the lights went out. What? Oh, man, this isn't the Super Bowl all over again, is it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Did my dad not pay his bill again or something? What the hell? So like we said earlier, going into Elimination Chamber, we expected WWE to announce a couple of pay-per-view matches this week, and we got some participants for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Daniel Bryan. Even though we thought on SmackDown last week they already announced 5 with Great Khali and Swagger in there. It's a bit confusing as to what's going on here.
Yeah, we did get the whole announcement. Some people said the 6th one was announced and that, but what they've really got to do now is when they've got the participants, when they know who's going to be in it, it's obviously about building them up, and I think Raw tried their best with some of them.
I mean, they had Orton win, they had Daniel Bryan win, they had Rey Mysterio lose on this show, but he was facing Daniel Bryan. So, you know, they're probably going to do the next 3 on SmackDown, I guess. You'd think so. You'd think they'd have the SmackDown Elimination Chamber #1 contendership match rounded up by this week, surely, as that is going to be the only chamber match, it would seem. Big Show and Del Rio was officially announced tonight. I think we kind of knew this was going to. It was just when they were going to announce this rematch.
The thing is, they've been kind of announcing it, but not confirming it for the last few weeks. Like Big Show said, I want to face you at Chamber. Del Rio's been saying, go to the Chamber. I want to face you and stuff. They've been saying it, but hopefully it's been confirmed now.
Yeah, with an official Del Rio contract, of course. And the final match we got announced was we're going to get a 6-man tag between The Shield versus John Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback, a.k.a. The Breakfast Club. And I wonder if this looks like it's going to be a 6-man tag, but it might be interesting to maybe... How unique would this be if it was like a sort of 6-man tag team elimination chamber? Could you think that could work?
I think having a elimination match would be good, especially if you have like the 3 members of the Shield versus Ryback. I know it's happened before, but at least it cancels it down to so you're not going to expect that person to win. Just to make this match a bit more better, but at the minute, it's just a filler match going on to Mania.
So technically, we have 2 matches announced. 1 match has got half of the participants in it, and we've got 4 matches kind of announced already, which I guess is okay. I just think that WWE really, going into the go-home show, we'll have to see on SmackDown, should really have at least a 5 or 6 match card announced. So let's now quickly run through the in-ring action and the booking. So the first match of the evening was none other than Vince's golden child, Ryback, versus the indie star, Antonio Cesaro. And judging by the names I've given both these guys, who do you think won this one, NJ? Feed him more, yeah. But I must admit, though, Cesaro did look all right. I mean, he didn't get squashed, but he didn't look too bad in here, which isn't bad considering he's up against the Ryback machine.
With Ryback being a future Vince McMahon favourite going to the top, for Cesaro to be in a match with someone who's been seen so greatly, like Sheamus and people in the past, you can compliment that. But when you go against Ryback, it's hard to picture anyone actually, apart from CM Punk, going ahead and beating Ryback.
I mean, to be honest with you, Ryback should be winning against a mid-carder clean, really. And the fact that Cesaro is actually going up against Ryback, Sheamus, you know, John Cena and all the big guns, etc., shows that they at least have a good faith in him in some kind of main event spot, as in the main event caliber matches because they know he can carry a good match. Swagger versus Santino. Swagger gets the win. He returned on SmackDown, which we missed because we just didn't care about Swagger.
Have I impressed you yet? Have I impressed you yet?
I think within the 2 years you've been here, NJ, I think you've definitely impressed the YWC.
Oh, well,
let NJ know down in the comment section below if he has impressed you ever since we've come here in the YWC in January 2011.
As nice that would be to know, the whole impress thing, are the WWE trying to repackage Swagger to make him something meaningful? Because Booker T was really bigging up, saying he's really impressed me over the next few weeks.
This is the Jack Swagger I've always wanted to see, sucker.
Yeah, it's all that. So what do the WWE think of doing with Swagger? Him going to the main event scene? We don't really want to see it, but if they want to make it happen on SmackDown, I guess they're going to try their hardest over the next few weeks to make it happen.
I guess my one thing is they needed a big repackage of Swagger. I'm not really sure if this is a big enough repackage. I mean, he has a beard, which is great and everything, but a beard isn't good enough. But I tell you what is good enough, though, a mustache. A mustache will always get you over in the WWE, which is why Cody Rhodes went up against the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio this week. And even though Del Rio won, you know, the mustache really stood out in this one for me, NJ. The mustache really needs to get a bit of a singles push because Cody Rhodes is bringing him down a little bit. I mean, Cody Rhodes isn't over, but the mustache is.
As much as he has to take off that cheap mustache he's got, the thing about this match straight away is even though the sad news of Team Rhodes Scholars, they're still not getting wins. They didn't get much wins as Team Rhodes Scholars. Now he's going against someone as higher up as Del Rio, and he loses. So I'm thinking, when is someone like Sandow or Cody Rhodes going to be starting getting their wins or going in a direction? So now they've had direction, they've lost it. What's coming next?
And it seems like they're trying to package Del Rio now as this like lucha libre kind of gonna kick a lot kind of guy, which I guess makes sense because as a heel he couldn't really do that, but as a lucha libre Mexican baby face, I guess it does make a lot of sense. But lay off with the kicks a little bit, Del Rio. Come on. Ray versus Daniel Bryan. We've seen this match one time before. Daniel Bryan wins the match clean, which was good. I really think that Daniel Bryan should be beating a Rey Mysterio clean, in all honesty.
After a while, I didn't really think Daniel Bryan was being taken too seriously because Kane was the one who was getting the majority of the wins, the one who was saving the tag team, and Bryan was the one who was looking like the one who's going to fail the tag team in that. But for him to get a win over Rey Mysterio, I was like, this is what I want to see, especially if it follows up with the next match.
You know, I would say this was hyping up a tag team feud between Sin Cara and Ray and Team Hell No, but they're in the chamber, so I don't know what they're doing there. Maybe they're hyping up for WrestleMania. Sheamus versus Kane in another babyface versus babyface match. Sheamus wins due to Daniel Bryan's distraction. And sorry, what were you whispering there?
I was saying that's what I was expecting because the way they did it, Bryan gets a win finally. Kane loses. The way they set it up, it's not more about Rey Mysterio. It's not about Sheamus. It's about this whole teasing of a possible feud again happening at Mania or whenever.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense really, booking-wise. You're giving Sheamus a win, who's a main event player for you, for your company, and you're continuing a storyline while not having Kane lose 100% clean. Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett. How many fucking times did WWE want to bring out this match? 20 times? I wonder how many times we've seen this match this year, because this must be up there with Ziggler and Sheamus.
And yes, Barrett's not actually confirmed a match for the pay-per-view, so I guess giving Orton the win was the right thing. Yep. But Orton beating Barrett is something that we've seen before, and I was hoping, again, I want to see more from Barrett, but they really let him down.
I just want to see some different matches with Barrett. I mean, goddamn. Jericho versus Punk was our main event match of the evening. It wasn't the main event segment, though. Punk wins the match clean. Were you surprised that Punk won this match 100% clean? I mean, especially with Jericho just returning as well.
When I saw this match, it reminded me of their feud. That I'm thinking, okay, yes, you've got the ex-WWE champion that's going to go up against The Rock later down the line. You've got Jericho, but their feud is all about Punk winning. So for Punk to get a win yet again, I know it's not a feud, it's still same old thing, Punk beating Jericho, blah, blah. But the match quality, just like the commentator said, it was a good match and all, but maybe something should have happened to have made the match different to what we've already seen.
Either Ziggler interfere, allow maybe Punk to get the victory, you know, do something like that, at least forward on a storyline here, because this kind of just seemed like a filler match, in all honesty, like a sort of, let's just stick this on free TV to make the internet purist happy. So yeah, so there wasn't really much story to this match, but Punk got a clean win against Jericho, so I guess that is good as he heads into Elimination Chamber. I wonder what they're going to do with Jericho now. Ziggler, or I don't know. We'll have to see what they're going to do with him. Now we've talked about the in-ring action and booking for probably way too long. We're now going to talk about the character enhancement and storyline advancement. That's really, it all falls into the same category at the end of the day, guys. Before we talk about the stuff involving Rock and CM Punk, I want to quickly just address the rating of this show. The rating was really good. I mean, if you asked me 6 months ago, or sorry, if you asked me 6 weeks ago, would the rating be a 3.68 last week and then a 3.56 this week? I would have said completely no. I think this really shows, in my opinion, that having The Rock on the show, having Brock Lesnar on the show, does actually draw people in. Even though The Rock, interestingly enough, The Rock wasn't there this week. So I was very surprised this continued getting such, what for WWE lately has been a very high rating.
That's the thing, because even though I'm not the most caring about ratings, when the WWE do stuff like this, being up to Mania, the ratings are at a good level. But my downfall to this is that, yes, it's going to be Vince McMahon's idea of how to get the ratings up. But the reason the ratings are up is because the fans know there's going to be Brock Lesnar, there's going to be
The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker.
All that. So that's a bit of a downfall, but it's all good for Vince. But just, they're expecting the pass, shall we say, to get the ratings up to the 3-point plus.
It's all good for Vince McMahon, who operates on a fiscal quarterly basis, where basically every 3 months he has to satisfy his shareholders. So in this 3 months from January to March, which is essentially road to WrestleMania period, he's going to want to get the most out of his show. So especially when this is the biggest business for his time. So the Punk versus Rock thing this week, right? Rock wasn't there, so they pretty much gave CM Punk filler. I mean, they can't really do much else with CM Punk. They had him open the show, saying he's the people's champion, and he basically makes fun of the crowd and makes fun of The Rock and says that he got screwed, and typical CM Punk opening promo, really, but not as pissed this week.
No, that's what I was going to say. The comedy side was he goes round and gets the commentator to announce him as the real
Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts, couldn't get his name. Yeah, he announced him. That was the comedy side. Then you get the serious side. But the problem with this, it was, in my opinion, a typical recent CM Punk promo. He announced the exact same stuff he's been announcing previously, like The Rock is not the champion, I am. I'm going to beat him at the Chamber. That's good because you're hyping up the Chamber, but this just felt like a basic CM Punk promo of the last few weeks.
That was until Booker T come out stumbling and bumbling over his lines. I'm the acting, general, managing, supervisor, manager, general, whatever. He didn't know what the fuck he was tonight, did he? And he basically creates a People's Choice match where we could pick either Jericho, Orton, or Rey Mysterio, the past 3 opponents for CM Punk's WrestleMania feud. So that was somewhat interesting, I guess. The fact we knew we were going to get at least a good match in the main event, which we did with Jericho.
Even though it's all the rigged vote reaction thing, majiggy, instead of just saying, right, you're facing Jericho. So I think out of all the 3, it was probably leaning more towards Jericho, because obviously he's just returned. He needs to be built up to whatever's coming next. So he knows it's going to be Jericho, so it would have been maybe better instead of going down the rig stuff to just announce it. But all I can say is that as we get later on, CM Punk will be facing Jericho. And can you dig that?
Sucker! Fucking hell, I'm stumbling, man. Fucking hell. So this is all basically filler for CM Punk. I mean, this is the problem with The Rock and his schedule. He's not always going to be there to hype up this stuff, so Punk was essentially just on his own, going through the night with no real purpose, really. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. We'll move on now to the World Heavyweight Championship feud. Del Rio versus Big Show. Interesting how they did it this week. We've been calling for a long time with just to have some non-in-ring segments on the show. And in this show, we had Big Show in a hotel room in backstage segments, basically wanting Del Rio's people to draw up a contract and bring it to him in the hotel. We had various segments of this throughout the night.
Yeah, because following Del Rio's win over Cody Rhodes, he cuts the promo, gets it going. Big Show appeared on Titantron, and they just have this back and forth thing for a while. Big Show's really saying that I'm not, because if I was there, I'll rip you to pieces, rip you from limb to limb. And Del Rio's obviously saying, come on, come on, come on, following the Ricardo Rodriguez attack. Yeah. So they're really hyping up this feud in a strong way. The hotel stuff was good, but still, Big Show not being there. Him saying, bring a contract to me because I don't want to be there to you. It was comedy, but at the same time, just thinking, I'd prefer them to be in the ring together. But we've got one more week for that. But this was something different. I like
it. It stinks of typical WWE cowardly heel, but at the same time, it was at least something unique for this feud. You have towards the end of the show, you have Del Rio coming up to his hotel room and to bring him the contract and pretty much kick Big Show's ass. Even though Big Show did get a couple of good shots in, and it took a fire extinguisher to knock him out cold, not Mexican food, according to Del Rio.
There's a bit of comedy there, but the contract to determine a Elimination Chamber match, to a Mania match, okay.
Do you like Mexican food, NJ? Because I really don't.
It's alright.
I can understand why that might have knocked Big Show out, personally. We had a big return tonight. We had Mark Henry returning. This was good for me to see. He takes out Daniel Bryan, Sin Cara, and Rey Mysterio.
Because that's what I do! That's what I do! That's what I do! That's what I do!
You're spitting on me, NJ. That's just disgusting.
Because that's what I do!
It's just disgusting and unhygienic.
Because that's what I do!
I know what you do. You make YouTube videos.
That's what I do!
That was pretty good.
All he said.
How he came out saying, "That's what I do." That was pretty good.
Interesting.
I mean, this is obviously a strong way to bring him back. Take out 3 guys. That's what Mark Henry does. I just wonder what they're going to do with him, or why they've returned him. Maybe they've returned as a feud of a guy like Ryback going into Mania, or maybe they're going to put him in the Elimination Chamber.
Because the thing is, yes, again, some commenters last week said they've already determined who the 6 are, but with Mark Henry returning, they need a strong way to build up Mark Henry. And Mark Henry, again, just like Lesnar, surprise return, very awesomely done. I'm just wondering, Mark Henry's back, he's still a heel, which is good. What is he going to do? Because everyone seems to be matching up, apart from a few SmackDown wrestlers in the main event scene.
I reckon they brought him back to be put in the Elimination Chamber. That's what I think. Kane and Daniel Bryan are still fighting. They had the whole thing with, "Where were you?" and Daniel Bryan distracting Kane. So it looks like they're really trying their hardest to culminate a feud between these two after they maybe drop the tag straps. And they're still teasing it. The only issue is they've been teasing this still for some time, and it's just been like teasing it, kind of gone off it, teasing it, kind of gone off it. Let's just do it now. Come on.
Because to be honest, it's a bit of a shame because, in my opinion, after what happened to the Team Rose Scholars, do I really want to see another tag team breakup so soon? Not really, because then we're going to be left with not many tag teams again.
We've got the Usos. We've got Epico and Primo.
We've got them.
Players.
They're hardly on the screen. So to break up another big tag team like Team Hell No is a shame. But teasing it each week, making Kane look good one week, Bryan look good another week. It's going to be a feud, even though we've seen it before. It's just, I don't like the idea of breaking up too many tag teams again.
I guess they're all temporary tag teams anyway, so they're all going to break. Just give the belts to Sin Cara and Rey and have them do a Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio tag team storyline, who's better, like they did at WrestleMania 21. MizTV with Paul Heyman. This pretty much focused on what happened after the main event last week with the whole Brock Lesnar F5ing Vince McMahon and basically Paul Heyman pleading his innocence. It didn't really seem to me that the crowd really cared all that much for this, especially when Vicky Guerrero come out, and the crowd didn't really get into this until Brock Lesnar came out, which I'm pretty sure is what Paul Heyman prayed for.
The thing I was going through this is that it was good interaction between Punk and Miz. I give it that.
As you'd expect, yes.
Yeah, how dare you say that? Just staring him in the eyes,
Really?
Miz, all that. I like this. Vicky coming out. It was good. She had some good back and forward between Miz and Vicky, so it all adds up there. But my downfall is when Brock Lesnar came out. You've had the big attack over Vince. Maybe that should have been left towards near the end, so you built up with MizTV, blah, blah, blah. Then Vince, like, oh my gosh, that's a shocker. But so it's a step down from Vince is Miz. It's really hyped this up, but I thought this was a good segment. It hyped up a lot of different stories, not stories, but you had like the Brad Maddox stuff. You had Miz stuff, you had Lesnar, Vicky's career. Again, I think it did quite good for the Raw.
It's essentially getting Miz on TV while also enhancing some storylines. Now, the Brock Lesnar coming out and beating up Miz was always going to be a step down after the Vince McMahon last week, which was his big return. But what I liked about this is Miz wasn't scared. I mean, you can understand why a guy like Miz would be scared, but they're really pushing this guy as a babyface now. One of the things you need to do as a babyface is show heart and courage. And even though he's going up against Lesnar and he got his ass kicked, at least he wasn't scared. Yeah,
because he did the shove first. When he got out the ring, he came back in and started attacking him. So I think they're really trying to make Miz look like a strong face going up to whatever is going to come his way. Lesnar, yeah, come out on top. Heyman still doing the leave him alone, leave him alone.
I just detect a hint of sarcasm in his voice there, but there we go. We got the main event segment of the night. Yeah, you thought that Punk versus Jericho was going to be the main event, and not when John Cena and Ryback and Sheamus are in the same segment. The Breakfast Club, they're always going to take the main event spot, brothers. You had Brad Maddox, who is like the fourth member of the Breakfast Club now, who he wants to take on the Shield himself. He just wants to fucking take on the Shield himself. And
sad thing about this promo is, as much as we all want to support Brad Maddox, he went through the whole sympathy thing. Like, you don't think you really blamed me? It wasn't my fault. I was being used. Give me love me lots. Come on, get behind me and all this.
I'm not gonna like you after that.
I hope not. And then he calls. Then the Shield come out. They batter the shit out of him. I actually swore because that's what it was. And then obviously out comes the Rescue Rangers. The
Rescue Rangers, or the Breakfast Club as we like to call them here. Cena, Sheamus and Ryback come out, and also they had assistance from the Brunch and Lunch and Dinner Club in the whole roster coming out to help them as well, and they basically surround the Shield, much like the Shield would generally surround them, and kick their ass. And it looks like we're going to have this is what led up to the 6-man tag match at the pay-per-view. This wasn't a bad name.
They didn't do it too bad, because the thing is, even though the faces came out, the locker room came out, the Shield did end up laying on their backs. They went back through the audience and escaped. So it still made the Shield look like you've not actually knocked us down, you've not actually beat us up badly, we've escaped you, blah, blah, blah. So I think they've done it quite well with the main event segment and set up the match for the pay-per-view.
NJ, have you heard that the Off the Rope show are going to be doing some Q&As from now on? Are you going to watch the Q&As?
No.
I don't think I'm going to watch them either. I don't really see the point, to be honest with you.
There's no to them.
And also, what's this thing about mirrored videos? I mean, is it really that big of a deal that we unmirror our videos?
Seriously, it is. If we did that, we'll get about so many subscribers.
Double subscribers.
Wow.
We'd have multiple plus viewership,
we'll
wouldn't we?
Beat Off the Rope show, beat them with subs.
I mean, 10,000 subscribers. I mean, that could be where we were if only we didn't mirror our videos. If only people could see the right way of my shirt. And, what a shame. It's just a shame it's come to this. But there we go. This has been our Raw review. And I must admit, NJ, it does feel weird being on this side.
No, we're not mirrored.
No, we're not. No, we're not mirrored. No, we're definitely not mirrored. But yeah, it doesn't half feel weird. So give us your thoughts on this episode of Raw down in the comment section below, and don't forget to go check out Off the Rope Show's Q&As, and don't forget also to send in your.
This is mirrored. Hang on.
Yeah, which way do you do it?
What's up?
Send in your WhatsApps in the links in the description box below. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to pass you over to NJ. Not mirrored. He's not mirrored.
No, I'm not. Not wasn't a bit. Now, people, please support Off the Rope Show. They're great guys who seem to like proper way videos. But till next time, YouTubers, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed Raw. Sorry it's a bit late, but personal reasons here and there. But anyway, keep smiling and goodbye.
At least we didn't have another blackout.
Very true.